Good evening, everybody. We are getting after it again tonight. It is Monday, February 4th. Been looking at things all evening, trying to come up with more material on minerals. You have to kind of dig when it comes to these trace minerals and ultra trace minerals. And so the one that we're going over tonight is an ultra trace mineral, which means that instead of grams, you're going to be at micrograms or even quarter of a microgram. But they are essential. They are plant derived, not elemental. So that's what we'll get into. I'll read quite a bit tonight, try to make it as short as I can. But we are going to talk about germanium. How many of you guys have heard of germanium? Yeah, probably not too many. Most people, if you hear that, you think of a flower. So that's what I thought of when I first read it. So anyway, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe down below. Hit the bell if you want to receive notifications when I put out new videos. And we're going to get into it. Germanium. Let's see here. My first, we're going to jump on PubMed. Again, I'm going to put a link to all of these things that I'm reading off of, and that way you can go and do your own research on it. Don't take my word as the gospel, but it's really interesting once you start digging into trace minerals and minerals. How, we discussed this before, a lot of these minerals do the same thing in the body, or they substitute for something else when something else is missing. So PubMed, here's what PubMed has to say. The only thing you can find on PubMed about germanium, it has to do with a sunflower plant. And so observation was confirmed that the addition of germanium dioxide to the nutrient solution can delay for a short time the appearance of boron deficiency symptoms on the shoots of sunflower plants. This appears to be true, however, only under growing conditions in which the plant had a low boron requirement. The delay in the appearance of boron deficiency symptoms administered germanium was demonstrated in sunflower plants ranging from age 7 to 20 days. This effect was noted whether the germanium was administered prior to or at the time the plants were transferred to minus boron nutrient soil. So here's the key. It is proposed that germanium does not truly substitute boron in metabolic processes of the plant, but rather functions through increasing the mobility of soluble boron within the plant and the binding non-metabolic polyhydroxyl sites, thus serving in the sparing role for the limited quantity of soluble boron in the growth centers. So if you guys remember my video on boron, we saw how important boron was. So this trace mineral, this ultra trace mineral germanium in plants will pick up the slack, so to speak, when boron is deficient, or it will make the boron, limited amount of boron, more soluble in this sunflower plant. So it's very important to understand this. We're going to jump over here to this site here is Diagnose-Me. Germanium is a mineral found in the soil, in foods, and many healing herbs such as aloe vera, garlic, and ginseng. It is known to initiate healthy oxygen flow to the body tissues and aids in the normal functioning of the immune cells. It is also known to maintain healthy balance between various body functions and is a water-soluble dietary supplement. Okay, so I read quite a bit on germanium. I've researched it a lot. I know quite a bit about it as far as toxicity. So it's very, very important that, we discussed this in, I think it was one of the calcium videos or a different video. We talked about the elemental form. So when you see the other link on germanium, you're going to see that there's a big warning on this. If it's in elemental form, it is toxic to you. It can cause kidney problems. It can cause damage to your body. And a lot of these minerals in their elemental form, they can cause problems if you overdo it because you're not absorbing it. It's kind of like ground up rocks or something like that. All right, so it says here various studies have been performed to measure the amounts of ultra trace minerals in human diets. For germanium, the typical dietary intake for humans is 3/4 of a microgram to 1/4 of a microgram per day. So that's not very much germanium, but yet it does a whole lot in the body. I didn't read all of this, but I will put this in the comment section down below so that you guys can read it all. This was kind of a Japanese study that they're linking up here in Japan of what they use it for. It's in mushrooms and ginseng and garlic and all of these other things have germanium in them. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at garlic and taking garlic. It has germanium in there, or it should if it's in the soil. All right, so last one we are going to look at here. Let's see. I kind of like this thing going live. I can record this video and look at my screen and read it off, so I don't have to have a teleprompter behind me or a blackboard on the other side to write things down. It kind of helps. All right, now this one here, this is the one that I'm really excited about. This is WebMD. I know some people think that WebMD doesn't have, it's got kind of biased information or some information is incorrect or, but it's just information, right? You gather things, the book of Isaiah said line upon line, precept upon precept. So that's what we try to do. We connect the dots of information. And if you find several pieces of information that all say the same thing, more than likely you can come to the conclusion that maybe there's some truth into it and you should start looking into it, especially when it comes to your health. I mean, you got one body and you can't trade it in. It's not a car, but yet most people know how to change the oil in their car. They know where their oil filter is. They know where all these things are to work on their car, but they have no clue of where certain organs are or what certain nutrients are. It just amazes me when you talk to people about these nutrients, even people in the medical field, nurses, doctors, they don't have a clue. You say one of these nutrients or something and they're like, what? What is that? I mean, these are professionals, but they just don't know. They didn't go through nutrition classes when they went to medical school. They learned how to sew up wounds and, do brain surgery and all of this stuff, put bones back together. That's just what they were taught. So we just have to know what we're working with here. All right, last one is WebMD. This one here I got pretty excited over. It says, despite serious safety concerns, germanium is used for heart and blood vessel conditions, including high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and heart disease, for eye conditions, including glaucoma, cataracts, and for liver conditions, including hepatitis and cirrhosis. So remember when I was talking about fat and high cholesterol and, that your blood cholesterol goes up even if you're on a low-fat diet. It could be because you're deficient in one of these ultra trace minerals or a trace mineral or something, and it elevates your blood cholesterol. I mean, if people really grasp this, it's just powerful, because if you're on a statin drug and you're lowering your cholesterol and you're on a low-fat diet, and your brain needs cholesterol. It needs to have fat in it to repair. That's the the motherboard of your body. Basically, it is the brain, and you have to repair it. All right, so let's continue. Some people use germanium for osteoporosis, rheumatoid arthritis, pain, weak bones, low energy, and AIDS. So again, this isn't me saying it. This is WebMD. Other uses include heavy metal poisoning, include mercury and cadmium, depression, cancer, food allergies, and yeast and viral infections. Germanium is also used for increased circulation of blood to the brain, supporting the immune system, and as an antioxidant. And then this is the end of it right here. On WebMD, it says germanium might act as against inflammation, might also have antioxidant properties and affect the immune system. So I'm going to post all of these links down below. You guys take a look at them. WebMD has quite a bit on there. It talks about the uses of it for even cancer treatment if you go into that far. But then it says that there hasn't been enough studies to confirm all of the other conditions that it can work with. Let's see here. And then it does say interactions, dosings. But just take a look at it. Take a look at all these links that I put in there, connect the dots. But one thing that you can be assured of, you go to the health food store, you buy a bottle of that plant-derived minerals, or if you buy anything that has plant-derived minerals in it, read the label. It's going to have germanium in there. It's going to have calcium in there. It's going to have vanadium in there. It will have all of these minerals in there, and it's in colloidal form, not elemental form. That's the huge thing about it. Plant-derived minerals is the only way to take them. So I tried to keep this video, under 15 minutes. I did pretty good, but anyway, it's late at night, and hope everybody enjoyed the video. Again, subscribe to the channel down below. Hit the bell if you want to get notifications. Leave a comment for me. Flip me off if you want to. If you don't think what I say is accurate, that's fine. Like I said, I don't mind constructive criticism. I'm just doing this to try to help people. So you guys have a good night. God bless.